Sangal on this map, I can't help to think that FUT could actually surprise us on here. The fact that they're going to start things off on the CT side, the fact that they get the ball rolling early on, maybe if Symmetry has a good game, they might have a chance.
Indeed, and there's no delaying this, folks. We're jumping right into the action. It's FUT getting things going on the CT side as Sangal will be the aggressors. Let's get into this one. This one's about remaining in the tournament. You lose it and you're out.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic start on the pistol round coming out of FUT. You just have a solo player spotting in towards middle. That's going to be Symmetry playing this one with a double flash kit as well. Sangal taking their time with that walk-up connector with the bomb. Ducks. Gotta be careful, doesn't really feel like he's gonna get challenged, though it still is looking like a slower split in towards that A-bomb side.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit difficult to read, but you do now hear the footsteps approaching. Flashes out as well. You've got Symmetry close by to it. Demon also in assistance if needed, and there's some chip shots coming through. But with the flash out, you will realize soon that Symmetry is in the angle. You didn't quite clean it. Oh, a triple to get things going. Oh, Symmetry! Krabeni helps you out, pull off the flawless round to get things going for FUT, but Symmetry running hot.
That is absolutely amazing out of Symmetry. That's why this guy was so hyped up by so many people towards the start of the year and the end of the first season. Look at those clean shots out of him. The bait was perfect, by the way, to make them all look towards the back of the bomb side. All of them blindsided, but look at how clean those USP shots are.
That's ridiculous. Getting things going like that. It couldn't begin any better for FUT right now.
Nope. Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun for Sangal.
Hey, it's just early doors though, and they do go for a force buy of their own, even though no bomb plant or pick goes their way. Tech 9's Deagle. Then he's choosing the handgun as the pistol of choice for this one, as there is a little bit of commotion towards his right-hand side, right? A bit of a poke and prod in B.
Yeah, still an exciting team, Sangal, right? Despite it being a CAS team, Norway as an in-game leader is bringing in a really aggressive kind of method to the madness, right? He likes his quick counter-strike, a lot of set pieces, a lot of, I guess, methodical rounds, but good switch up with the pace. So he's not going to be as stagnant. He's not going to be as slow in the way that he's calling.
It's a fun project as well, bringing the Aurora core back together.
Yeah.
It's something I think many were looking forward to.
Yeah, I feel like the addition of Result has really strengthened them up as well, right? He's been playing with them for a little bit over a month now. Obviously, he was one of the most hyped up players out there like 2 years ago when he made his debut with Forza in Pro League.
And we'll see if he have the impact that he'll need today. For the roster, Symmetry already had a quad piece the previous round, and he's allowed the bomb to go down. So with Sangal taking these post-plant positions, could get a little bit difficult, but...
Ooh, taking space.
Taking their time. Smokes fade. Surprise, but the MP9 will have it. Somehow Patsy doubles up, and this could get a little bit dangerous if you find another pick.
No kid.
There's a looming danger with Patsy being in the back line. You've got to be cautious. Push comes to shove, and Patsy continues to rain fire on his opponents. Both remaining players from the CT side are low.
No time.
Benny and Lornex don't have time to get onto the defuse. How does Patsy do this single-handedly?
Oh.
Benny able to hold the line, and there's just enough to get that bomb defused. Holy moly, that was cutthroat.
They actually did pick up a kid from the ground, right? They didn't have it initially. Lornex picks it up, and he gets tagged down so much. That gets incredibly scrappy because of the double kill out of Patsy. And that was the tricky part for Sangal as well, right? It's one thing getting onto the bomb side, but considering that was just a half-buy, you don't really have a lot of util, so you need to get aggressive. You need to go pushing, and Patsy just goes absolutely nuclear with the triple. Unfortunately, the buddy system was good enough, but considering they went into this one with a force buy without a bomb plan in round 1, this is a great result for Sangal, making him sweat.
Definitely keeping FUT's economy malleable and in a position that where it can be broken pretty damn quick.
There you go.
Symmetry. AK 51252347.
Yeah, I love the nickname.
I don't know if that's a reference of anything, but yeah, you do appreciate a player that keeps his name in the, you know, correct Lornex Krabeni. Shout out.
You know what that is? That's old school Counter-Strike, where you join and you watch GoTV Open qualifiers and close qualifiers.
You try and figure out
they're
who's
just
who.
Yeah, exactly. They're just using random
Bob the
names.
Builder, the others Bob, you know, SpongeBob SquarePants. For some reason, both those characters are called Bob.
Bob is a great name.
Yeah. comes from the name Robert. And like you came to that realization a couple days ago, didn't you, Ted?
Yeah, I still can't believe it. If my name was Robert and someone would call me Bob, I would be losing my mind.
Really? I don't think it's that bad, man. I really don't think it's that bad. Anyway, back into the round itself, though. Sangal, there's their first bite. Patsy already down to 60 points of health due to that HU grenade. Need to be a little bit more cautious about that. FUT are notorious for these early push and pulls, which Sangal seem to respect so far.
Yeah, quite aggressive in the short control, right? And you can see that's going to be a pattern for Sangal, still being a little bit, I don't want to say worried, but cautious with the way that they're taking space in towards that A-bomb site. They know that FUT like playing that proactive Counter-Strike, especially at the start of the round, so you don't want to overplay your hand in towards middle and towards long. Don't want to give yourself out too much. Good thing is, there is no AWP currently on that CT side, so Sangal could even take a lot of space here on pure contact, but Rebeni's got a funky position in play, especially if Symmetry is able to take first point from map.
Yeah, Sangal choosing the wide open space of Park. And Krebeni, oh, he's just got an outside presence. Surely he must know there's something awkward going around here. Calls for reinforcements, but Denise also is flashed out of angle. No, it was actually Symmetry. And for that reason, that's 2 picks to nothing. Sangal, great openers. You pretty much will be relying from Lornex here, but there is flames everywhere. At least gets one. But on his attempt to drop backwards, gains some extra cover. Result just drops in, gets a double, and this round should already be over.
You're already calling this one off if you're Ducks. Might even get hunted down, by the way. Result is going all the way in towards bank. It's really important for Ducks to be able to hold on to that M4. I mean, it's they still should be alright monetarily, but if you drop one over to Demon, I don't think he's going to be unhappy about it. That entire setup just gets absolutely undone before everything starts, and Result will even close it out with a 4-piece. Absolutely beautiful out of him.
And it's what we were talking about earlier, Ted, about the economy being a little bit more malleable. Sure, you've got to buy in you this time, but if Sangal get 2 in a row here, this is just back to square one.
Yeah, and if you're Sangal, you should realize that this is no panic stations. The fact that you lose the pistol, you go for a force buy, you get a couple kills in a bomb plant, but you lose the round, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're on a bad start. Quite the opposite. You still do have a lot to play for here. The half has just started, and this is bloody overpass, so anything could happen on the second half. You get 4 or 5 rounds on the T side, you're going to be pretty happy.
Already looking to put some pressure up in short. Nothing of the sort from FUT this time around, though. Holding back, triple B set up for them. It's for good measure. Symmetry having his eye out on Connector as well, but that's not where he'll firstly be approached from, right? You can see Result also joining in from Fountain. Oh, that pixel play doesn't quite connect, but that's really important information to figure out where the AWP is.
Ooh, whoever with the first shot, Symmetry. Gotta be careful with this one. He's going for a little bit more. Thing is, do they realize there is another player rotated towards the back of the bomb side? Lawnex is already in there.
Krebeni's darting towards this position. It might leave the B side a little bit more exposed, and I think that's what Sangal are banking for. Look at their own rotates.
Yeah, they're going back. The CTs are just playing this one on a bit of a, I don't want to say on retake, but they've gotten the kill onto Result. This is massive. The T's know that they need to go for the play now. Otherwise, they're just risking into walking into a stack.
Krebeni's been running all round long, and now he's going to be on the B site at the right moment, at the right time. Posted up with Demon, where he's the one to get the first pick of this engage. Patsy, low. Oh, this awkward fight is still going on, but somehow it's still going though for Sangal.
What?
They're keeping it running. The bomb ends up going down, but Danny's got a lot on his hands. The 3 grouped up players from FUT should be able to get this under control. Dennis won't be able to survive for long, courtesy of Lornex, and FUT recover. Clean retake, but it all began with the first picks.
It all begins with the first picks, but I'm loving the proactive Counter-Strike out of the CT side, right? This is the one thing we should be looking at. The fact that FUT, in the middle of the round, they just get the timing perfectly. You block in Monster late with a re-smoke in towards it. Then you rotate a third player back A. You re-aggress with the AWP. You find that kill into the player in towards Flower Pot. That is when the B players open up the distance, deploy the U2, and just start playing for time. Rotations arrive. You're just playing perfect Counter-Strike right now on that CT side, or at least in that previous round. And the fact that Krebeni is able to stay alive and towards water for such a long time is an absolute difference maker. It is an interesting I guess, topic with FUT. How mature can they become in their approach to the game, right? Because we all know they love hyperactive, proactive, really aggressive Counter-Strike. The big question here is, can they find the middle ground? Can they be patient at times?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I feel like throughout FUT's progress and from the various iterations they've gone through, whether that was the Na'Vi Junior to ex-Na'Vi Junior to now FUT, we've slowly seen, you know, some highs and lows from them and how they adapt throughout them. And there is some maturity. I feel like when you would first come into contact with these guys, you wouldn't think that they're 16, 17 years old. Sure, you've got, you know, Krabeni in there who's 20 and Lornex as well, but that's still pretty young. And for that to be the oldest in the squad, there is a level of maturity around that you cannot deny.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it is only, I guess, fair when you've got a group of young teenagers that can just shoot heads left, right, and center, right? You expect them to be playing proactive Counter-Strike. You expect those guys to be high on that confidence train. That's exactly what we're seeing out of them. But Sangal, on the other hand, they have a lot more experience, right? You're looking at guys like Rezold, as we pointed out, made his debut in ESL Pro League a couple years ago with Forza, and everyone was kind of struck by how sharp he was as an anchor player back in the days. Clax obviously has been around and about for a while. Patsy, can't forget, played a couple major playoffs.
Counter-terrorists win.
All right, well,
unfortunately, we've lost him.
Yeah, it looks like the server's going to be reset, so we're going to have to wait a little while to see how that one will go. But we'll be throwing this one to a break, and we'll be back as soon as humanly possible. Well, thankfully that didn't take too long, did it, Ted? Quick server switch, and everyone's back online and ready for action. Look at the push out from Symmetry, though. He's looking for something cheeky.
All right, man. Let's see what you've got. Hope's looking for something. No one's holding it for as long as a bride. Now they're all turning around, and he's going to pick up the first one. Lonex in the meantime going 1-for-1 in Symmetry with a bit of a bad miss, though, and it will cost him his life.
That's going to be a little bit tough. You can see that Krabeni is trying to keep this close distance to the Sangal players. There was a distraction early on from Lornex, but it doesn't seem to fade the Sangal T's.
Not sure if they've seen him. They seem to realize there could be a third player, but they haven't really engaged into a fight with him yet.
I mean, it was Krabeni's flash that got everything going, so it's likely.
Ooh.
But catching the timing on him is even better. Now Sangal have got the jump on their opponent's pole position, and their eyes set on A.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. 50 seconds on the clock, though. They're rotating a second player. Demon has been spotted out, decides to swing for the fight. They're both going to be here. Do the T's really want to commit? I'm not sure they do.
A Hail Mary play. It's a pivot.
One's going back.
They're keeping them engaged, though. There's going to be a fully open B site for Denise to take his sweet time to put the bomb into the ground, punching in the numbers, and there is no distraction around. This is clean. I wouldn't be surprised if FUT just called it off.
I think they already have, yeah. It's an intelligent read to the situation out of Sangal, right? The moment that you spot out Demon going for such a fight in towards the A-bomb site, you're thinking, well, in a 2 versus 3, what is the most logical thing that those two CTs could do? Potentially try and stay together, right? Try and play this situation as a unit. So we just throw in all the util that we can, put a little bit of pressure on Demon, make sure that Zux, even if he wasn't already in towards that A-bomb site, is going to be tempted to rotate and help out his teammate. We just send the bomb carrier back towards that B-bomb side. So this is Sangal now getting a second round on the T side. The save will be good enough with the big green as well. But as we pointed out, potentially try and stay together, right? Try and play this situation as a unit. So we just throw in all the util that we can, put a little bit of pressure on Demon. Make sure that Zux, even if he wasn't already in towards that A-bomb side, is going to be tempted to rotate and help out his teammate. We just send the bomb carrier back towards that B-bomb side. So this is Sangal now getting a second round on the T side. The save will be good enough with the big green as well. But as we pointed out, Sangal starting to kick things off here on what is their forte and has been for a while. The fact that they have been able to, since the start of August, play 18 maps on Overpass.
Oh, I love this angle.
It's phenomenal.
We get to see it all from the beginning, and it was indeed a distraction play from Launex, but they didn't quite go to plan. You can't help but feel, Ted, that if the second kill did connect for Symmetry, we'd be having a totally different conversation now.
Yeah, it's just straight up unfortunate. The setup was good, the aggressive play is fine, Launex going 1-for-1, Symmetry is able to get his first kill. It would have been a different round probably, but you know what? Better to get those misses out of the system early on, and Symmetry has been having a good game so far. 9-3 for the young man on the OP.
True.
It's all about making sure that those don't occur too often, especially on a map like Overpass, right? You want to take advantage of the CT side, but the fact that you're up against Dennis and he's been the highest rated player of Sangal when it comes down to Overpass, the majority of it, obviously, because of that CT side, but still, even on the T side, the moment he gets the OP in his hands, he could be really impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously during the tech pause, we get a moment to slow things down a bit, get a breather. Hope everybody's been having a great day. And yeah, I mean, look, there is no better day for a Counter-Strike. Obviously, every day is a day of Counter-Strike. I don't, you know, there's so many games going on, so many tournaments, but, you know, ESL Challenger League will always be that constant to look back on. A proving ground, and I feel like it's a badge of honor for teams that are able to get to the top of this league as well. A sign that a tier 2 team can make the jump to the upper level.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for a group of players that have been part of the tier 1 circuit before. We started speaking about Patsy before the previous technical timeout, but Patsy himself has been around for such a long time, and I think he still has a lot to give to the game. The fact that he's just 22 years of age is absolutely mind-boggling for me. Of course, he was part of that Spirit lineup between 2021 and 2023 that made the semi-final of the PGL Major in Antwerp, the quarterfinals in Rio in 2022 as well. And just like that, I think we're back.
It does look like it.
Yeah.
Symmetry did have enough to invest for a second round into that big green, but it's forced out of position. Sangal really aggressive with the nades early.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. You should still know there could be an op on the other side of things. I'm not sure Symmetry realizes how close they can be. He's made a couple steps.
No one's checking this direct contract. Ooh, and he's backed off, and it's just on time, by the way. Oh, he slips out that something could be going on. Norway with the opener, and that is the A-site access given to Sangal. Oh dear, and Norway smells blood. Wants to go in for more, but Demon able to hold his on. Is that enough though? 2v3 with Sangal having numbers.
Absolutely not. You've already called this one off. You've just been caught off guard. That timing was phenomenal.
Oh man, so many elements to this. And it's actually 2v4. It felt like Result was a dead man there, but no, held on to his life. Insane, man. It's all down to these opening. Sangal have got the timings knelt down, and you kind of get a grasp of why they're so damn strong on a map like this.
Yeah, those are the signs of a team that knows what they're doing, right? One of the main conversations that you're gonna have with Overpass is that you can make the difference between a good team and an average team based on their T sides, right? This is a good team. This is what a good team looks like. Able to deal with the aggressive setups, recognizing where players could be repositioning later on into the round, making some good late round calls, and in a round like this one, having, I guess, the audacity to switch it up completely, go for a little bit of quick utility, make sure that you've pushed the upper back, then take the chance to push through the toilets position. Knowing where Symmetry was at all times, you just catch him completely off guard the moment that the util comes out. The smoke in towards the dumpster wasn't even fully out the moment that Norway did go for that initial peak, so Symmetry is just not ready for the timing of it.
But going back to the cookie cutter of every start for Sangal, and it starts very nicely for them, but instead of waiting for the smokes to dissipate, they walk right through them, and they walk right past their opponents as well. Might even want to consider the adjective walk on them, because they've been stampeded on. FUT had no chance in holding that one. Sure, you're up against pistols here, but it was so damn clean from the Sangal side.
Might consider the adjective jump on them. Because they literally, that's what they did in this round. Again, yeah, they've been styling on them. Obviously, that wasn't a full investment coming out of the CT side, so now we get to see them back on the M4s. But there's some really impressive little things in the game of Sangal that make an impression. The way that you know there's one player trapped with a rifle in towards water, you just pause, turn around, hold for the connector, push. You're trying to isolate all the fights before you deal with Ducks, knowing that everyone else is going to feel like they're in a rush to help him.
And slowly but surely, Sangal having a firm grip over this T side. And if you're FUT, you've got to be a little bit cautious, right? You need some cushioning going into your own aggressive side. And there are only just a few rounds remaining on this, 4 altogether.
Look at the switch up. Same protocol utility in towards the A-bomb side. You're just making sure they're not over-aggressive, though. You're letting the CTs go forward if they want to. And you are grouping up for a B play. Now, FUT have been running a lot of 3-man setups in towards A since the start of this. I guess this is what you're hoping for once again. You still might want to send Passy on a bit of a scouting mission.
Flash out for Patsy, but quickly putting his head underwater. Jugs around. But it's Demon that holds his own, and Krebeni having the high ground as well allows for the trade back. Suddenly Sangal under a bit of trouble and a bit of stress as well. Krebeni getting the jump on Patsy, but just some damage across, realizing there's someone that could be coming in from behind, but it's just not enough to deal with Symmetry. And Krebeni still a looming danger. Lonix jumps in right on time, and it's a distraction play, a classic one for FUT that turns to work out for them.
That one gets a little bit scrappy though, right? The moment that clax is able to get that first kill, everything comes down to individual fights. Good work coming out of Symmetry as well. Quick rotations out of the CT side. It felt like Sangal were going to be able to make a round out of this, and I don't really mind it. Going for a bit of a monster walk, trying to experiment when you know they probably don't really have enough money for an up on the other side of things, so you're favoring your chances with the AKs. And now again, I mean, you lose the round, but you get 3 kills. You know Symmetry is not going to be equipped with a big green. Danis, he still has the money.
It's crazy.
It's still dangerous for the CTs. Really, really dangerous.
Yeah, it was the previous round as well. You started to wonder, what if they get reset once again? Because that allows a lot more space to Sangal.
Yeah, I mean, still a possibility, right? Look at the Reasers, I guess, financially. Krebeni's the richest one on 1350, and then you've got Zux on 900, you've got Symmetry with 200, and Lonix with $50. Demon's broke.
Lavatories punished, or at least engaged with here from Sangal. A few smokes and mollies sent in Symmetry's position. But other than that, we'll walk out onto the park again. Resol's being noisy. And Danis catches Symmetry on the jump peak. Lornex has got a response. but you need a little bit more than that. You need to buy time for the rest of the team to arrive. You've got Krebeni having your back, and he will be able to win his individual fight, but you do lose your instant holder. Demon, he playing aggressive here. clax, though, reads it on time. Oh, this is getting a bit scrappy, Ted. Jugs knows he needs to play in his opponent's faces, and indeed he does get the interruption. 2v2 with Krebeni lurking.
Eyes on Krebeni, though. He's repositioned in towards middle, and there is a smoke right now isolating Jugs, but it's all about the timing. When do they realize that Krebeni's not in towards long?
Oh, Dennis' position could be the most impactful one here. Patsy, instead, is able to surprise Krebeni, trying to allow his team to walk out into the site. Doesn't quite happen to plan for first. Sangal, clean hold with 2 players left.
Yeah, those rounds are all going down to the wire, and you can see the hold once again. Big props to Krebeni, actually. The moment that the execution comes in and so many players get spotted in towards Banana in the toilets, he realizes there's probably just a single man throwing all that Yuta from long, so he picks up that fight. Gives them a bit of an opportunity, but we've seen a lot of good mid to late rounds actually coming out of Patsy, which is interesting, considering he's usually the guy to run him first and storm a bomb site. And providing a lot of impactful multi-kills. In fact, all of them have been. Look at that kill distribution on the T side.
Yeah, everyone's having a piece of that pie, per se.
Yeah.
A chance to shine.
And now they've got a chance at 7 rounds on the T side.
That is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. They might as well already lock in the 6th. But instead of going hyper-aggressive like they did in the previous anti-eco, they're being a little bit more patient, diligent, in case FUT are creating some sort of a play of their own. And that's indeed what they did do. But not one that will impact Sangal, as the patience pays dividends.
Yeah, they're over-rotating.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in a round like this one, you're pretty much forced to go for a bit of a gamble. And now Symmetry has pushed through the smoke in towards Banana, and he's realized there's no one out there. They will try and rotate back on, but not sure if they're going to be able to make it here in time. Actually, the Emperor will be here. I see a boost for Krebeni. Oh.
You've revealed yourself, but don't want to stick around to find out whether you will be collected or not. Jugs receives an HE to the face, and it's a painful way to go down. The AK seem to prevail, apart from the one that Symmetry is able to recover. But he's low enough for a bullet to land anywhere on his body to collect him. And it's Sangal in the lead on that T side. A looming threat that a potential 7th could mean destruction for FUT.
And it just feels so calm, right? When you think about the context of the game, there's been so many rounds going down to the wire to a 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3 situation. And then you think about it in perspective, and you would say to yourself, well, Sangal do deserve to be in that type of a situation. They've been making a lot of calculated and a lot of smart decisions. That T side looking really solid, and as we said, it's no coincidence. They've won 7 out of their last 9 best of 3s. This is the best streak that this core of players has been in, probably since the start of the year, because Aurora at the start, Astrum after that, they never were successful with finding consistency.
Symmetry holding the right angle here. Toyed with. Oh, does not connect the first shot. Launex could be exposed, but gets to cover quickly. Holding hands now with Symmetry on the next phase of defense.
That's a lot of information though, right? You spot that one player in towards the balloons, you see another opener in towards connector, you know there was heavy presence in towards that A bomb side. They can just accelerate into B.
Sangal, that is a brilliant set of utility, blocking out the entirety of the CT side. You can enter B for free. Ooh, Jugs. He's got a good sightline on one of his opponents, but if you're continuing to trade equally, it's not too bad a result for Sangal. Thing is, a couple of the players are low. Could be easy pickings as Launex is around. Could prove to be quite the interrupt that indeed he is. And he continues to cause trouble for the Sangal side, looking to go 6-6 at the end of the half. We've got pictures, we've got a timer, and we'll be back after that. Ready to rock and roll for the second half. Sangal and FUT head to head here, 6-6. But if you're FUT, you don't really want to be on that even ground moving into your T side.
Yeah, if you're FUT, you're hoping for a successful pistol round. That's pretty much how we can put that entire story here. It's a hefty utility investment though. Just spreading around, making sure there's no pushes in towards middle or connector early on from the CT side and grouping up into what looks like a B play. Now, oftentimes in a round like this, you'd see one of the smokes go in towards heaven, the other one supposedly in towards the middle of the bomb site or deep in towards CT. Interesting to see what they want to go for. A hefty amount of flashes as well, avoiding short at all costs, and the U2 comes in. Low on X is already pretty much on the bomb side, actually. They do isolate short. Yeah, they're going to fight for the deep control.
Simple as that. Kubeni will have a look out to see what the short play looks like. But you've instantly put the CTs in a bit of a pincer situation. They're able to isolate the one, and now they can focus on breaking into the back line. What a brilliant entry there from the rest of the Sangal players. It's looking clean. Launex and Demon keeping these a little bit competitive though, as they both collect the headshot piece. Forced into a corner, both players go down. It doesn't take long for a couple of punches to land. Sangal with the pistol. It's safe to say they're under a bit of trouble.
I'm not used to saying that, but I feel like under those circumstances, Sangal was the team that got bait out by individual prowess, and FUT actually had the right call. You can see that is straight up anti. That is the best example of an anti for a pistol round that you're ever gonna see, right? They just spread around, they already have the utility, they don't see the pushes, so apparently there's somewhat of a giveaway, and they know that the CTs like going for those aggressive plays in towards short on the pistol round, so they just isolate it. They go and fight for CT, they do everything right until they just lose the fights in towards CT.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit interesting, isn't it, Ted? Well, FUT probably don't see it that way.
You can tell that FUT have prepared nicely. That's what that's where I'm getting with this.
Sure, and we're looking to see if they can have an influential T side, and this could be quite the snappy one as well. First blood for Demon with a 1 dig, and you've got the Mac-10s backing it up with sporadic acrobatics work. Patsy though interrupts the bomb plant and has kept things equal. The fact that Dennis is yet to show himself with the M4 does give Sangal a bit of an edge.
Really low HP on both Demon and Low on X, though Patsy and Dennis, they are favored to win this one.
Bomb has been planted.
Patsy was thinking about shooting again, but then again, he had luck once. Lady Luck is not smiling this second time.
Ooh.
Smoke fades. Flash out. But Dennis can't capitalize upon it quick enough. Looking to close up the distance, Patsy is just being a distraction. Now Dennis can start to move into the action. Demon, what a brilliant 1D to connect, but one bullet is the difference between him staying alive and him dropping to the floor. No time to defuse, no.
He's got it.
He's found a kit. He's found a kit, and crisis
It's gonna be close.
Averted? Indeed, Sangal, holy moly. That was a bit of a nail biter.
Whew. Thank God your monster player had a kid dropped off, because they would have lost it for a second there. The pop is absolutely perfect, by the way. Result is able to get the first one. Look at how every single time a CT player gets a kill, there's a refrag coming in from the T's. Up until the point where Lone X just decides to jump over with a MAC-10 like a madman in towards Water, and now the third kill as well. Good effort coming out of FUT, and you can put your top dollar on the fact that we're seeing another force buy out of them. 4 kills is still 4 kills. Look at the money on the CT side. This is still an in-range T side for FUT. Molly failing. It's not an easy lineup. Even for a team that's played the map so much. So it is alright to fail nades, guys. Everyone does it.
I feel like you're saying that statement specifically for me. I know you're saying guys to be kind, but...
Oh no, that is a legitimately difficult Molotov to land.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why.
It's a tricky lineup.
That's why I don't bother. I'm cool with my double pop flashes. Smoke's on for me. Let's look into this round, though, as it is FUT's chance to get into the spice. Quite slow now. They've cut noise entirely. It's a bit suffocating for Sangal.
Yeah, you put a little bit of pressure on middle, and now you're trying to just go with the long explosion. You know there's not enough money for an up on the other side, but Patsy's ready.
He's dug his heels in, but can't even get away with one. A buddy system that crumbles quickly for FUT, and Sangal taking full advantage onto the highway towards this A site.
I guess that's why you bring in Low and X into the lineup. Look at what he's able to come away with. That was never an issue with this guy. Never a question whether he got the individual talent, whether he had those sick mechanics. And clax is going to try and bring it back, but Krabeni on top of the bomb side shuts him down as well. This is a great response from FUT, and this is where this map becomes a lot more interesting now, Pavlos. Look at the money on the CT side with the reset. Rizal is the only surviving member on an MP9, and he might even go down as well. Gets 1 kill on that MP9, but there's so many T's around, there's no way they're letting him upgrade and get out of there.
Shall we just have a Launex discussion now? Because let's be fair, one of the reasons that the ex-Navi Junior roster, or the, it was so impressive, was with Mikaze doing such heavy lifting a lot of the time. Sure, you have many pieces in this roster that provide a lot to you, but it felt like you left the gaping hole open that required to be filled. Launex is stepping into it nicely.
He is, yeah. The one question with Launex is how long can he stay on the lineup for and be a valuable asset, right? Because he's been around and about. He's had a lot of chances. And this could be a good thing and a bad thing, right? It could mean he's really experienced. He's played a major 3 years ago. He played the one in Rio with Sprout, made top 16 in 2022, but he had an opportunity on Falcons, then on Bleed, and Falcons again, Revenant, Nexus. So he's been changing teams quite rapidly, and this could be a good and a bad thing, as we said.
Well, a sneaky start for the Sangal side, as they went for a double break into connector. There is a response though, so you can't really account much. Never mind. Oh, Dennis going berserk with the MP9. He might have just cashed in a lot of cash, but he may have also gotten the round in the process. Launex is the only one remaining.
They've just thrown it out the window, haven't they? All the good things that they were able to achieve with the previous round, unless Launex is able to come away with a 1v4, at least he's got a little bit of time to work with, and the bomb on his disposal. Yeah. Let's not put it outside of the realms of possibility. Thing is, the moment that he starts running a little bit more in towards long, clax should hear it, and I think he already has.
C4 on the hip, AK in arms. Launex still has some heavy lifting to do.
He's seen 2 of them.
The bullets of 2. But does he know that clax is so close? Attempts to go for the bomb plant, trying to rule them out, and he's dashing. He's running, this man, the sprint of his life towards this B site.
You get a bomb plant out of this, you're going to be pretty happy with the money. They can't really stop it.
Picking can hear the commotion around. Try and get a couple of players down as well. Oh, he's found cover. Maybe this is doable. Never mind. Clax connecting with a headshot as soon as he's given the chance to do so. Still, though, your statement stands correct, Ted. Everything that FUT did the previous round kind of gets nullified now.
Yeah, erased. That was your opportunity. Sangal on a bit of a forest bite. They had one rifle going into the mix, a couple SMGs, a couple upgraded pistols. That was your opportunity to reset them, level things up, maybe get a 9-8 lead as well for FUT. And now you lose the forest bite. The wars continue. Obviously, you being on the T side and with the bomb plant as well, with the dear help of Low and X, you're going to be able to get those rifles out. But this is Sangal holding on to the lead here on the CT side, no matter how close the game gets. They are still in the driver's seat. But again, as we said, those forest by wars, meaning we don't really get to see either one of those teams get into the comfortable position of having enough money for a rebuy shall they lose a round with all 5 players going down. Not a good rebuy, that is.
True.
You can always rebuy. But sometimes it's not great.
I'm just trying to picture that. Just, hey, you've got money for a pistol. Doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah. You got enough money for a decoy.
Strong util that, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jugs is a lone man army towards his right-hand side. Bomb is by his position, so you can kind of tell what the intention is. Yet again, though, he could also easily pick it up and head towards his teammate's position, but with Symmetry now boltering up that area of the map, kind of...
That's great.
Gives us the idea of this B-pop, but Grabeni, though, is the one to get first blood, an important one. I wonder if this will lure any attention from the CTs.
He recognized the setup. I don't think he knew for a fact that Patsy was up close, but he spotted the player just jumping towards the back of the bomb side and just firing a couple bullets. He just nades Patsy instantly and clears him out, and that's opened up space. Look at the rotation. Rizal is getting the hell out of here. Just now he's starting to walk back.
He's got no clue they're going to rush out of the smoke here. He's going to get fully surprised, gets the one and the second. It might just have gone awry for FUT. Doesn't matter how you start it. What matters is how you end it. Jugs at least keeps his team afloat. Head above water, but a 2v2 still required.
They can plant the bomb. Defuse kit. Not sure if there was one dropped somewhere on the bomb side here for the CT side. If not, they're in a pretty deep trouble.
These nades are hurting. But both teams have got their players hip to hip. Run by from Jugs. Repeat, but Dennis is ready for it. A double kill for the ages. And it might just be the settler for the game itself as double digits are secured by Sangal.
Holding on by the skin of their teeth. Look at that low HP on Danis. Picks up the kid on the way into the bomb side. Look at that double kill coming out of Clax as well. Rizal getting the first one. It actually felt like Clax. It looked for a second like he got all of them.
Oof.
Lovely stuff coming out of Danis and Jugs as well, trying to bring in the goods on the T side. Unfortunately, not enough. And now that's put FUT in a really precarious spot. They need to go for a half buy here.
Yikes. Not that we haven't seen a bad buy. Yeah,
You've got a rifle, you've got a utility. This is the time where you bring out the strat book with Coolio's little tricks and say, hey, we don't have the bomb, it's still in T-spawn. What is going on?
Oh no, and look at that nade damage. Holy, that's not fun. I thought the HP bars for the T's were yellow, not red.
Symmetry's realized it.
Oh, guys, what we've done.
That is the true walk of shame.
I'm glad we're not observing it, because that would truly be the walk of shame. But
that's good, though. It's really good out of Sangal.
Regroup.
Yeah, but you do the early damage with the utility. You know those guys are softened up. You always should be aware of the possibility of them going for a bit of a half buy. Sure, that could have been an investment because of the damage, but it does make sense for FUT to take a bit of a financial step back in a round like this. So you open up the space, play from the back. You know that you've softened them up, or at least you're hoping to.
And now the bells are ringing for the CT side. A side being pressured from a couple of directions, but you're not pulling the trigger on the full rotate. You know that FUT are very much capable of this mid-round pivot. Not the case this time around, though. Smokes out again. It's the second wave of them. Patsy playing aggressive, taking matters to his own hands. They want to interrupt this push before it even happens. It's a good call to make. He's even got Danis nearby. And he wants to take it a couple steps further. Ooh, this could get wrong, but Patsy able to win his fight. And the low players slowly get accumulated and put into the belts of the CTs. Norway has an easy time dealing with Jugs on the long angle, and the rest will swiftly fall thereafter. So that's 2 back-to-back now for the Sangals.
Yeah, this is the thing when you're going into a round like this. Sorry, you just caught me off guard with the Sangals.
Sounds like the Sandals, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. They had a fan club. It would be the Sangals wearing the Sandos. They need to brand some Sandos. But yeah, it is a tricky thing when you're playing against the pistols. You don't want to give them too much, but you don't want to be too aggressive either, right? So you have to find the middle ground. They do it perfectly with that double push in towards or that double aggressive setup in towards Banana in the toilets. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, how you hit the same molly. Thank you, Patsy.
Double itchy. Stack up for FUT. I've got a long way to go. It's being illustrated that Sangal do not play around on the CT side. Deep smoke.
It's an interesting little detail, by the way. They don't go for the instant smoke out of spawn. Obviously, there's a way for the T's to fail this one if they land the molly on top of the tracks. But there is this new smoke that doesn't get failed by the molly. They still wanted to go for the double peak with the double nade. And those are some things that a lot of tier 1 teams would be doing as well, but it shows that Sangal is up to speed. They are that type of a team. Especially on a map like Overpass. You play it that much, you're going to be up to date with the bibs and bobs. Makes it tough to play against. Because you know those guys are not going to be playing conventional Counter-Strike all the time, or at least they will have some more creative things in the book.
It's been quite quiet on the left-hand side of the map, so Sangal happy to keep 3 players around for this defense. And now they realize the take is incoming outside of Toxic. Clax comes and he goes as well. Double kill. It's beautiful. Kribeni can't really do too much about it. Sangal very much equipped to deal with this. As soon as the take started, it ended.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. This picture-perfect Counter-Strike on the CT side. Not sure if they even spotted the player in towards the barrels, by the way. Or they thought maybe contact was going to come in from somewhere else, but the sequence of them going for the fights, the setups, the way that they're getting the kills, everything just looks so clean for the side of Sangal. And sure, you could say, if you are FUT, you probably could make a case that they think it should have been closer because they did lose a couple close rounds, but in its entirety, this Overpass has looked pretty comfortable for the side of Sangal, bar the close rounds.
Tough world for FUT, for sure. Lacking on the util department. Everyone's just got their favorite piece of utility with them, right? Favorite nade.
Apparently no one likes the Molotovs.
Yeah, they're a little bit more pricey, aren't they?
That's a tough one. Zux is low on HP. You've got not a lot of util left, and you're already running short on players as well. Patsy, that is absolutely beautiful.
It's demonical, that's what it is. For get interrupted in their tracks, don't even get a chance to breathe towards this A site. And forced out of their lungs. Kribeni on a lone man effort. You can hear some commotion, so he's being teased as well. Toyed with. Chip on the shoulder, seemingly being the absolute bread and butter for Sangal. But now we've gone into FUT side of things. Their own home ground. Ancient, very much needed for them to stay alive in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is an important one, right? As we said, for a team like FUT, you're not really used to playing ESL Challengers, or for the core of players, they couldn't really play it before because of Navi obviously being in Pro League. So you couldn't even participate in the circuit on a lower level. So it is quite important for them to do well here, especially with the newest edition of Law and X. And thankfully, this is the bread and butter of the side of FUT. Regardless of the fact that Sangal, interestingly enough, Pavlos, have actually played more Ancients since the start of August than those FUT players.
Oh, that is an interesting stat line. Still, though, let's have a look at how this one goes. Symmetry will be entering into the A site, Norway respecting the presence of his opponents. We're looking at 5v5 post part here, Ted.
Yeah, you do have a kit on result, though, and 2 smokes,
Benny.
or actually 1 smoke in a flash, so it should be a doable one.
Oh, the dualies, though, are causing a bit of duress here for Grabeni, and indeed will end up collecting him in the endo. The final has already ensued, though, not waiting for the play in Donut to arrive, which has caused some confusion. Denise doesn't stay alive for too long. 2v2 with both remaining players low. Laon X cleans up. Those headshots came like wildfire.
Those rounds are still going down to the wire, man. This is such wild Counter-Strike. I'm not sure who the player was, but someone towards the back of Xbox couldn't hit a shot to save their life with the pistol. And this is how it is sometimes. Sometimes the glow just doesn't connect. Yeah, it was Dux here. Actually, he did get a kill, but tapping away for such a long time. And Laon X going absolutely nuclear towards the end. He's the one man that needs to fill in the shoes of Makazi, who is the best player on this team on that particular map. And he has been, by the way. Highest rated player of FUT on Ancient so far.
It's one of those conversations we're having a lot, Ted, when, you know, this team was going through that period of change. They were trying a couple of players, having a few subs here and there. None of them could really fit the role of Makazi all too much, but Laon X seems to get there.
I think he's just that type of player. It's a lot more similar than it was with Misuta, let's say, who was never a star player. Much more of a reliable, experienced, supportive element, even if he does have ideas and he is vocal, but I don't think he was ever that nature of a player.
3 players were initially in Cave and Chag. One of them has been eliminated. The pincer will not be tested, though, as FUT still look to move to the B side. I did talk a little bit too quick, didn't I, Ted? There is a
that is
on
tricky.
Cave.
Yeah, this is tricky, especially with the 5.7s. If you take first contact and you lose both rifles here, this could be a really easy one to deal with, especially with Dennis taking first point of contact. They might not be ready for 3 people.
Yeah, this could be rough.
It will
At
be.
least clax is smoked off, so the entry from ramp will be clean. Risol and his teammate get the pick up there. Bomb to get planted. clax not looking to push the smoke, especially with his teammates blocked off by the molly.
They're pushing him.
And they might surprise their opponents. Indeed, Symmetry not expecting that at all. FUT, they may have just put themselves back in pole position, but with that smoke still there, they won't really have the line of sight they need. If you're Sangal, you're probably thinking this might not favor you anymore.
Yeah, I think they're walking away. You do realize you don't have a kit, you realize you've got no utility, and you've just lost your player into as long. It's better to just call it off, have somewhat of an opportunity in the next round. That was a full investment as well. This is not great at all for the side of Sangal. I mean, I say it's not great at all. It's unfortunate, right? Because clax does play the situation right. He knows that he should stay alive. He knows that he should hold the line on the smoke and just wait for his teammates to take contact and then swing. The only thing is, after getting those kills in towards the cave, they just thought the T's would try and challenge cave, maybe trying to walk away from the bomb site. clax just gets caught on a weird timing on the swing through the smoke. If he gets 1 kill there, then they give it a go.
It's impressive how these second round force buys have been very, very close, though. I feel like all 3 so far this series have been quite cutthroat. Could have gone either way. And it does keep the team that wins these types of rounds in close proximity when it comes to that economy, right? It makes their upcoming buy rounds a little bit more important. Laon X boosted up. Resort reads it. No problem at all with dealing with that. And one of the 2 hero rifles from Sangal has already started to sing.
This could get funky. Those 2 rifles being brought into the next round of action, and now you've lost that 1 player in towards middle. Look at the double push in towards A, man. That's a lot of information right now for the side of Sangal. Question is, how deep do you want to go? How far do you want to go with this? 157, good for 1. Refrag comes in, but this is still good stuff out of Patsy.
Yeah, you don't mind going for 1 there. Norway closes up the gap. And I don't know if you expect this if you're FUT, and indeed you do not catch the timing on that. Norway with the double. Resol appears from the back lines as well. That is clean stuff from Sangal, and they only started that round with 2 rifles.
You know what? I'm actually loving this because I haven't seen Sangal play in such a long time, right? That core of players, they had so many struggles towards the first couple of months of the year.
Sure.
But since the start of this game, they've actually looked really good. The way that they're taking space, the way that they're playing proactive Counter-Strike with a lot of confidence, that was one of the main issues towards the end of Astrum days, I think, before they got transferred over to Sangal. There was just so many losses that it was difficult for the players to believe in themselves. Judging by the way that they've been playing so far, it kind of feels like they believe they can even 2-0 this. I know we're saying this at a 2-1 lead for FUT, but a lot of those rounds have been going down to the wire. Sangal is really competitive.
Yeah, they've been playing some clean Counter-Strike so far, and it shows. And again, for having such a difficult situation in the first couple of rounds, they still don't have the optimal buy. The Force Buy has got 3 pistols in store, a fast push into this A site, and it should be a bomb plant with 5 players to spare. Eyes on Krebeni though, a lurk of the ages, and that's quite the bank.
Yeah, it's all about getting that kill on Krebeni. If you get that kill, and if you're Norway, you can win the round. The T's need to get a little bit aggressive though. Not a lot of utility. If Krebeni's not able to get a couple kills, this could get scrappy. You're just buying time for him to get into position.
Perfect timing for Krebeni, by the way, especially with Norway holding that position. As soon as he moves away, that's when Krebeni chooses to pounce. This could be a free piece.
Oh no.
Oh no, the headshots don't land. You went for the body shots thinking you could get a couple in, but the jump up caused some leg pieces to come through. The CTs hold on. The firepower prevails. FUT had no chance in holding that one out against the M4s and AKs diffused in by Result, and 2-2 on the score sheet.
Oh, it's probably the worst gun to have in this position as well, right? It's a bit 250. Even a Mac 10, a Deagle, a Tech 9, anything would have done the job better. Krebeni, that's really unfortunate, but the CTs still play it well. They know it's all about doing the damage, holding on, making sure they don't let the T's push too deep in towards Temple and towards CT, get done and just contain them on that bomb side. The difficult part is not getting onto the side itself and getting the bomb plant. The difficult part is actually finding any comfort in the post plant, especially with the lack of utility.
And you can't help but
where
feel
the flank
things
should
get
have helped.
scary a little bit when Sangal have got themselves money for days. FUT amping up the pressure, but it's a fully equipped Sangal side looking to defend this. A fully equipped one, and an undefeated one at that as well. 5 players alive by the end of it for the Sangal. And it's 3-2 lead found. Back to the buys though for FUT.
Look at the kill distribution, by the way. Norway 5 kills, Patsy 5, clax 4, Result 4. Danis hasn't really been involved too much, hasn't really had the op too much, and he's on 2 frags, but all of the rifles are doing their job perfectly right now.
Same with
Norway's
Overpass.
been absolutely outstanding.
You did make the same point out for the previous map as well. It's just Sangal, all of them are involved in the action.
And that's how it should be, right? Because objectively, when you look at this lineup, they don't have weak pieces individually, or at least they shouldn't.
Clax looking to see if he can get the punish. That flash is insane from Danis. Pure capitalization. Resort also had some of his own action outside of Cave.
I mean, that's
and with that, yeah, round's over.
This round is over a minute and 30, right? Unless Danis just goes down in a really weird way, which he does, but does the damage, so Symmetry is low. They should still have it in the bag.
Looking at Clax as usual, just a flash, so no real possibility to deny this bomb plant. So some extra cash in pocket for the T's.
Any kill you get as a bonus.
Aggressive. Yeah, okay. Sangal playing this one clean, not taking any chances. Jugs at least is able to find a consolidation frag by the end, but 2 picks is all FUT will get. This was their buy round, by the way, Ted, and it ended just as quick as the pistol round did.
It's a bit surprising, isn't it? Usually nowadays what you see is the CTs being a little bit more conservative in the way that they fight for middle, because the T's are the ones to wait and go out middle on a late timing with the flashes, right? We saw it happen the other way around. FUT tried to force the issue, get that early 2 players out of middle, and then swing deeper onto the second timing. They thought they had it all figured out. The flashes come in from Danis, they dodge the first ones, they turn around, they get the kill. Bang! There was actually more flashes coming in. Little did you know. Great little detail coming out of Sangal. And Danis, this is where his impact lies. Might not be on the top of the scoreboard, but those flashes won them a really important buy round, and you go into a bit of a tactical timeout for Coolio here. This is no shocking news. At least you get a bomb plant, which probably you shouldn't have. Danis definitely not feeling great that he gave them that fight, but it's still a good start on the CT side for Sangal.
Coming into the series, we knew we'd be up for some action, Ted. 2 teams running hot, 2 teams very impressive in their trajectories. And currently, Sangal just being a little bit above in terms of macro and micro.
Look at how ready they are. You just started off with the deep cave control. You were playing beyond a bit of a retake as well when you've got a lot of players on that left-hand side. Clax is all about not going down straight away, but he's really good at playing his life when needed to. At least usually.
Danis still holding Krebeni's angle, and it just works out on time. Motion heard though. clax will have no issue dealing with the first, but being blind and having an elbow in front of his eyes will help FUT gain a foot onto the site, no pun intended. But apart from that, their legs are cut to pieces as the rifles start to chime through as well. Double kill for Danis though. As soon as he gets the big green, he also looks to put some impact in for his team.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a slow start for the side of FUT. Krebeni is on 1 kill. He was the second guy to the madness when Makazi was still on the lineup. Obviously, we had that conversation about Demon now stepping up into being a lot more aggressive than Krebeni on the T side. But Demon hasn't really had the opportunity to shine as much. We can say the same for a lot of the pieces on that FUT lineup.
Patsy, this time it gets caught.
That's it.
We were talking about Krebeni's aggression and Demon taking a foothold of that. Krebeni still with the old and known.
That's so fast.
It gets red, but the firepower is still there.
They didn't see the second player. That's terrifying. You know there's some aggression going on. You need to answer in towards B, but you don't know how many players there were.
Does clax know about Lionex though? It doesn't matter. It was still 1-for-1. A-site takeover, and instantly Sangal in a bit of an interesting spot here.
This is not an easy retake. Norway low on HP, Danis on a big green. You're going to give it a go probably, but it's going to come down to whether Rizal is able to get that kill onto Krebeni.
Krebeni looks away though for now. Taking the fight deeper into the site, closer to where his teams can trade. Smoke on cave. Space for Danis to work with. Oh, it covers the position.
No.
Symmetry, the turnaround. No, we see him to get the pick instead. Risol, it's his time to shine, but he's run out of teammates, run out of help. He gets one, maybe the second could have aligned with that spray, but Demon recovers quickly. Trigger hit first, and FUT back in action on the T side.
This is what you want to see out of that T side from FUT, right? Krebeni taking a little bit of space, going for that cave fight, not really letting Sangal get that part of the map for free, and then Demon closing things out with a triple. This is everything falling into place, but that was still doable. I don't want to be that guy, but that is probably should be, and on a normal day, he probably gets a kill, if not even 2, out of that smoke walk, right? It's just straight up unfortunate, but FUT might be looking to switch up the pace with a bit of a B rush.
It's very feisty, isn't it? Very quick. The molly does do a little bit of damage to the tippy toes of the FUT players, but inevitably it's the rifles that can do most of the work, and Danis, forced out of position, does not end up having the pounce on his opponents. Lionex not slowing down though. Danis also wanting to follow it up, but he's under dangerous waters and gets dealt by the currents. Yeah, that one's over. FUT, what a brilliant take. Full bravado.
Yeah, it's great conditioning coming out of FUT, right? This is the first time you go for something like this, and it comes in round number 9. You've just conditioned the CT side that they can go for a lot of, I guess, pushes at the start of the round, that you're going to be a little bit more conservative, a bit slower in the way that you take some of the space, and then you just hit him with a straight-up rush for the first time so late into the half. It is a great call, even though it felt like, again, the CTs were ready to actually deal with it. Norway gets the first kill, but from that point on, everything just falls apart. Rizal goes down. Danis in a weird spot with the up. Nothing he could have done about it. He just gets run down and wrapped up. It's still a really close game, though. I mean, it's a shutdown call, so to speak, but it doesn't necessarily shut down the economy of the CT side.
And we're starting to see FUT win some of those individual fights that I feel like have been the difference maker in several occasions, several openers. When Sangal are able to, you know, get those 2v2s under wraps, it just feels like it's a matter of seconds until the round is in their favor. But with FUT answering back, we've got a game on our hands for sure.
Yeah, it's a really close one, this one. Both teams on a similar level, and again trying something newer. Oper boosted, Demon going for the contact.
That flash turns out to work against him.
What?
What? Demon with the demonic duties still gets 2. But Patsy's there to deal with him.
Hold on.
Other than that, bomb should be going down, but what's the answer back from Sangal? Do you really wave the white flag here, even after Danis' pick?
I think you give it a go. That was a 5 versus 3. You get 2 kills instantaneously. Just wanted to make sure there's no flags in play.
Jugs, he's been softened up a little bit. You know where the players are coming from, though, and being scoped
Are you
up in
safe?
position is a rough one for Danis. Patsy hoping that a random spray shot goes his way, but without that happening, there's no pressure moving away from clax, really, for him to close up the distance. So, ooh, misses the timing on that as well. That's unfortunate.
I'd go down.
Yeah, indeed. Patsy looking to see if anyone stuck around for too much and punish. Patsy does go down with his ship, but clax survives.
The good news is you've got plenty of cash on the CT side, right? Even though Patsy goes down, he's got 10k, so that's not too big of an issue. But yeah, I've liked the tempo switch coming out of FUT. Sangal is somehow every single time able to make us believe that they're able to bring back around, and this is something that FUT needs to be really careful with. But we are seeing the best out of Demon. This is one double entry for the highlight reel. It was such a weird one because he was blinded for a long period of time, and then he just turns around and gets the kill. This is the type of plays that you are expecting out of Demon, though. The young Ukrainian, one of the most underrated players. I know I said it already. I'm going to say it again. One of the most underrated players in Tier 2 Counter-Strike right now.
Sure. Definitely very impactful.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that can bring in star-like numbers on CT side, regardless of being an anchor. It's kind of like having your central midfielder on a football pitch being your top goal scorer, you know? It doesn't make a lot of sense, but you think it's hella impressive when it happens.
Yeah, as an Arsenal fan, I'm too familiar with that.
As a Man United fan, I'm not familiar with it because we don't really score goals.
Sorry, man. Feels bad.
That's alright. Been like that for more than a decade.
But the new age is for FUT and Sangal. Two upcoming teams in the Tier 2 scene. Sure, you've got players with that Tier 1 experience, top of the line. But a lot of fresh faces as well. Some early chip damage as well. clax down to 35. Danist's also under that 80 HP mark.
They've become really comfortable with those B takes, that's what it feels like, but now you've put some presence. The map just looks really open, right? It feels like the CTs are almost inviting you to go for a B play, so you try and explore your options. Thing is, when you are walking into a play in towards A that later on, you need to be wary of every single possible angle, right? Setups in towards Donut, in towards Jungle, in towards Red, in towards A main, aggressive players, boosts, opes. You don't really know anything. You're just going into this one blindly on 30 seconds. This is a big risk, especially with Norway having a little bit of util to delay.
Norway flashed, gives a call to his teammates. Pressure. Flicked it into Donut. clax hoping he connects with a headshot, but the wall provides cover for Launex. Norway
Knocked him off.
anchoring, but it needs a little bit of spice here to keep things going for Sangal, but instead for pole position, 4 against the 3 of their opposition. And now with a bomb down, should have a clear task on their hands. If you get the move on here, Sangal, you might even subside Jugs, but that doesn't even come to fruition. Krubeni gets the pick up through the smoke and bombs your uncle in the round.
Yeah, it really is. Patsy able to get that 1 kill on Jugs, but it doesn't really change who's gonna pick up the round. Krubeni with a nice double. That 1 kill out of Launex makes a whole lot of difference. I'm still trying to figure out how Sangal are putting themselves in such great positions, but FUT are able to still weigh all of those rounds, right? Because the going itself is not bad from, or the setup itself is not bad from the CT side. Noah's got the molly, he's got the smoke. All he needs under those circumstances is just for clax to get 1 kill, and then Launex just walks out and, I guess, deletes him. Doesn't really give him too much of a chance. So Launex, even though he gets 1 kill out of this, and the spacing wasn't great, by the way. If Launex goes down, the second player was in no position to get that instantaneous refrag. So it's essentially a round that goes down to Launex getting a kill. That's
How many rounds?
The definition of high impact.
What is the number of consecutive rounds that FUT have accumulated so far? Because it feels they haven't really been let it go.
No, they've picked up a lot of pace. So Sangal were up 5-2.
Yeah, well, that makes it 4 consecutive for FUT, and with 1 round remaining in the half, have the capabilities of being the team in charge before we move to the opposite sides. This looks to be a quick take over the A side, but bomb quite far away. They're hoping to maneuver some of these CTs.
It's not a commitment. You're just baiting them out. You're trying to bait out a reaction. Thing is, the bomb is still in towards T-spawn, so it's a double fake? No, actually, Demon's just walked out on the bomb side. He's like, well, it's empty. You can come over.
I mean, they've been provided the space for free, so they might as well just take it. No trap
Still
play in
playing
the
towards
mix.
Donut, though.
Sangal are afraid of losing players early. They want to go for this 4-5-man retake, but you need to take care of Lauan X in the back lines. clax looking to crunch in on his opponents. Looks like Sangal loses a fight on two different fronts. Resort hopes he can get away with a little bit more than Lauan X, but he'll get what he can take. A tree breakaway. Oh, you needed to connect that. And Demon will punish. That's the end of the round. And the end of the half as well. That's going to look like 7 on the board for FUT. What an incredible streak of form. 5 consecutive already. In action for FUT versus Sangal. Currently, FUT in a bit of a roll, 7-5, but it's 5 consecutive rounds for them on the previous half. Now on the CT side, but Sangal acting quickly off the pounce.
Yeah, we're not wasting any time on this one. It's a straight up rush in towards that A bomb side, double setup in towards the donut position. What is going on? Lauan X has just pushed the smokes. There's so many backs turned against him.
You're hoping that Symmetry collects the pieces, but it does go down with the ship as he picks up one. 2v2 all of a sudden, 1 minute 20 on the clock, but Patsy getting the digits punched in. Jugs closes up the distance. Both Krebeni and he. Oh, looking to line up their dinks, but being low doesn't do you any favors. Krebeni connects one. Dennis low. One bullet should do it, but Dennis is just toying with him. And then out of battle, Krebeni sticking to the defuse. No way! Gets off of it just on time to get the final collection. Foot on the board on the pistol is what they need.
Yeah, and it's a big triple coming out of the in-game leader. We wanted to see the impact being brought in from Krebeni. So young, yet tasked with the burden of being the IGL. And we're used to asking a lot of him individually, and he's able to deliver when it matters the most. Big triple kill out of him. That was a really precarious 1v1 towards the end. There's been a lot of clutches, a lot of close scenarios, in case you're just joining in. To the ESL Challenger League Season 50 European Cup 2 stream. This is our one and only game for the day here on the stream. And it's an elimination one. Lower bracket. Loser of this one goes home. Well, technically, they're both playing from home, but you get the idea.
Yeah, we understand, Ted.
Yeah.
They're out from the tourney.
Yes.
That's it. They're already in the lower bracket. Look,
Kick him out.
FUT have kind of been that Grim Reaper on that lower bracket run, right? They've had a couple of rounds consecutive, dealing with teams like Nine, Ents, destructive stuff. Meanwhile, Sangal only just dropped. This is their first map. This is the first series they play in the lower bracket.
Yeah. Been a lot more successful for the Sangal boys, as we pointed out, going into this game in some great streak, great form. Getting a pretty decent amount of wins. And that's one of the conversations we haven't had. It's only natural for them to be playing more and more interesting and better Counter-Strike with time. The fact that they get Jumpy as the coach as well.
Sure.
Absolute legend of the Swedish scene, may I add. The fact that he was the coach of that international Sangal lineup 1 year ago, featuring LNZ, X-Cloud, Youngster, Jota as well. He just stayed with York.
He's got a different task on his hand this time around. I guess it's a bit of a language barrier as well, as all the players are Russian. But second round full spike for Sangal, looking to be a bit treacherous to deal with, difficult. But it's not like you don't have a game plan into it. Jugs and Launex have got cover to what looks like impending doom, but it's not over till it's over. Launex,
it's over,
revealing himself, and indeed, it does look quite done and dusted already. Demon with a random Hail Mary through the smoke doesn't quite work his way.
They're low.
Krebeni, is there really a chance here? There's a possibility. But missed the first few shots and now alerts them of his position. They need to get the bomb down. If you don't interrupt them, well, if you do interrupt them, this could be it.
Oh my god.
Bomb down, 1v1. How has Krebeni done this? Looking to be the impact man again. Back-to-back rounds where Krebeni shines. Triple kill both times. The defuse is his and FUT continue.
You need a big clutch. Just call 911. No, never mind. Actually, scratch that. Call Krebeni. Just call the captain. He's there for the save. A 1 versus 3 isolating all of the fights, all of them around the 50 HP mark, so he was just going for the body shots. Fight after fight, and the time was low. There was a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of nerves. That's another one, by the way. If you ask Sangal in the end of this map, especially if this map ends up going in favor of FUT, you ask them, should you actually win this engine? They probably should. They probably will tell you yes. There's so many rounds that they've lost going down to the wire. So many times where they probably feel like they got hard done. They still go for the investment. They've done so much damage.
Oh boy. It's a bit of a gut-wrencher, isn't it? It's like someone's throwing a knife in your stomach and is twisting it. Not fun. Painful.
It's a bit frustrating if you're Sangal, because you feel like you're making good calls. You feel like you're playing well. The game plan is there. You're making it so close, but you just can't get that 1 or 2 kills that are so key for the round to be converted. But Counter-Strike is a simple game, as we like to say. It's all about shooting the bad guy before he shoots you.
It's about hitting headshots, man. And quick. Still though, with 5 players, well, 4 found and the plants. Something like an investment has come into this result. How about that? Launex paying attention, but this time doesn't connect the headshot first.
Tricky.
M4 upgrade, how about that?
You have a lot of information right now. You've heard Zux rotate back in towards A. You know you've got a 2 setup on A, 2 setup on B. Thing is, symmetry with Yob might be a bit of an issue to deal with.
You block off one entry so you can put your focus on the other. That molly is timed nicely with your teammate's exit. Symmetry finding cover in Temple. clax looking to see if he can toy around with it. Doesn't really take the bait though. Doesn't want to go for the swing. There is absolutely no need to do that.
They can save.
Still have got a lot of players that they need to bring nearby, and it doesn't even look like they're going to go for the take anyway.
That's the discipline we were talking about, by the way. Notice how Sangal just walk into the bomb side. They take everything that was given to them, and they just don't get greedy to take anything else. They didn't give them a peek, right? The molly comes in. Symmetry was thinking about going for the peek in towards Donut, but he was so sure that there was a swing coming in through the smoke in towards main. Only issue was he didn't really know when, so it didn't really feel safe to go for a play like this. And then clax moves towards the back of Xbox, just holding the off angle, making sure Symmetry is not going to walk out. He didn't really care to face him. This is a great round to win if you're Sangal. This is one that's going to make you feel good.
Resource probably feeling very clever here, Ted. He survived with 1 point of health after the bomb exploded. Probably feels very smart with himself.
Yeah. A proud man.
Yeah.
Although at this point, I think it's fairly impossible to calculate exactly how much damage you're going to get from the bomb.
No. As much as you might claim you do.
No, some maps are impossible.
FUT now take their timeout, and they don't take long, do they? Sangal interrupt with a second force buy, and they're instantly in the thinking chambers.
The thing is, if you are Coolio and you're watching this game, you do realize exactly what we've been discussing in the last couple of rounds. You do know that even though you did have a 4-round lead and now you have a 3-round lead, this is not a one game. This map is not over. You do realize you've been winning a lot of close rounds, a lot of clutches, and that's great, right? The fact that Krebeni stepped it up with back-to-back triple kills, the 1v3 clutch as well, a couple big rounds that Sangal could have won and probably should have, and FUT steal away. This is all great. But it's all about taking advantage and capitalizing when you get those rounds to go your way, right? Because this is still a pretty fragile game financially for FUT. It still could get tricky. You lose this round, you're out of money. We're looking at a 9-7, potentially 9-8, as they will have to go for a bit of an eco. And the game is on.
Well, that is if FUT lose this again, so
yeah,
we'll have to see if that is indeed the case. Sangal's not really fair to take too much damage early. Those HEs are brilliant, and Krebeni's crunch out of Jank is also as successful.
That was a self flash as well.
Double donut cross. Double donut defense as well. Out into the open, you're flooding Launex late on the smoke, therefore down to 15 points of health. You're not healthy now, but if you're Symmetry, you've just given FUT a silver lining. You've got 2 players more than your opponents, even though you're struggling on the HP department.
I'm not sure where you go. This is that type of a round where you even consider safe on the T side early on, right? You've got 1 minute to work with, and they look like they want to give it a go in towards B, but you get denied in towards cave, then the double donut setup is able to hold on regardless of Launex being a little bit hesitant with whether he wanted to fight with his teammate or smoke himself off, but Symmetry shuts you down in towards middle. You've got no map control, you've got barely any information, so a contact up B. As of right now, the CT is playing this one on a bit of a passive setup. It's all about Demon not going down for nothing, because if he does, they know where Krebeni is as well.
Hear me out. Demon oversteps, gets hit by a headshot, dies. And then we're looking at a 3v4 with FUT having players that are very low and can get spammed across smokes. Sangals don't take the step forwards to get the collection, so yeah, that's not going to happen, is it, Ted? Well, Demon does die, but other than that, smooth sailing for FUT. Wind in their sails, and a defuse isn't even required, as the digits didn't really get punched in time.
And that's the 3rd triple kill Krebeni's gotten into a single half of Counter-Strike. And I say a single half, that's 4 rounds. In 3 of them, he's been able to get a triple.
Oh, baby, Krebeni.
Yeah, that's great. That's really impressive out of him. He's on 13-9.
So he got 9 kills out of those. Yeah. Previously, he was on 4.
Yeah, quick maths. Good job.
They do say don't do maths on broadcast. I just did. Rule breaker.
This is the first time you did it correctly as well. I'm proud of you.
Cheers, man.
It's fine. It's all about growing, improving, you know?
Let's see if Sangal can improve in this one, though. They've been lacking the expertise we saw of them on Overpass. Bit disjointed in several occasions, shaken in some moments. Oh, lightning fast
job.
reactions there from Symmetry. First blood goes to FUT.
That's really good. This is probably one of the first times you've been able to get a clean opening without the T's getting too much in exchange. And look at that double rotation in towards red. They're ready for the walk.
Launex hoping he's got the timing on this. And indeed, he's got the backup as well. Never mind. Symmetry walking away from it. Smoked off now. 3v3.
Demon's on an island. He's completely isolated with that deep smoke. They need to challenge. They need to go for that kill, but they missed him.
Great HE grenade though from Jugs, and it just gives them the opportunity to cross safely back to the defense of the site. Symmetry and Jugs both aligned to keep this site afloat, while Demon has all the time in the world to brew this backstab. No one will interrupt him. One pick, two, easy as that. For unstoppable on the CT side of Ancient.
That was absolutely perfect. It's absolutely perfect from start to finish. Demon getting the double kill towards the end was just the cherry on top, but that challenge in towards CT, that's where you realize that those guys know how they should be approaching a situation. You lose that fight, you challenge clax, you get the kill, you just rotate like almost like you're panicking back towards that B-bomb side. You just know you need to take the space. You can't allow Demon to be left all alone and wrapped from all sides in towards B. It's a good play out of FUT. A really good one. And for the first time since the start of the half, you've got a full reset onto the economy of Sangal, and that comes in so late into the half, so late into the map. Might mean we're going to a Mirage, which, considering how much firepower we've seen and how many displays of individual skill there has been so far in this game, is not really a disappointing prospect.
No, not at all. I'm looking forward to potential Mirage here. This game lining up to be quite the exciting one. Still, it's not like anyone from the Sangal side is underperforming particularly, right? You're all kind of firing at a similar level. It's just that FUT are very much prepared on what you're about to take on. These first kills give them a substantial leverage into the remaining parts of the round. Again, Krabeni, even though he's flashed, he's given gifts. Demon wanting a piece of the action, jumps in, trades his life. AK collected. Oh!
All right.
And a silver lining for Sangal. The bombs fight behind though, and when both clax and Danis are so far between each other, there really is not much in it for Sangal.
I want to refuse to believe that this is doable. They don't even have the armors. Danis doesn't want to overstep the mark and pick up an AK, or pick up an OP, sorry. He's got the AK already, but it's all about clax's spot. Thing is, Ducks should realize this is a possibility. Oh, never mind. clax has got that one deke. They don't really know where the bomb is. They haven't spotted Danis out. This is weird. They've got a lot of time. They've got plenty of time.
Brilliant. Danis decides not to go through spawn, given he's missed out the opportunity to read out where the players are. There could be some potential opportunity in mid. Clax gets the jump on Krabeni. And instantly, this round is in flames. Launex, a full HE explosion in the groin. This is not fun. If you're Launex, they know where you are. If you're clax and Danis, you're chilling. 2 picks per team, per player. Low though, Launex. That's the first collection. And gets the second. How dare you, Launex? How dare you clutch this up? That is simply criminal.
I mean, that was an eco round. They shouldn't have won it in the first place, but how did they lose it in the end? This is complete cinema. This is pure chaos, absolute carnage in the server on Ancient. Look it up. How many wrong things can you spot with this round? That was a 5 versus 3 originally. Then Danis is able to get a double out of nowhere. That's a 2v5. clax, no one looking a second time. They just got nervous. They thought it was A, and then Launex is just able to run out. Didn't even shift his way out of cave and gets both those kills. And he was already low on HP because of that nade.
Oh boy. Well, if that didn't break Sangal's morale, I don't know what will. Sure, you've got to press that reset button onto the next one. Jeez Louise. Jugs, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? Into the smoke. He's hugging his opponents, essentially. Oh, he's done a little bit more damage as well. And Demon has also joined in on time to interrupt the close-up opposition. Holy FUT takeover. Complete stomp on the CT side. Do not give Sangal a single opportunity to breathe. What the hell did we just witness?
I've got no clue what we've just witnessed. I've got no idea how this game ends up being a 13-6. That was such a competitive map of Counter-Strike but it still ends up being a vocal one in the scoreboard, and FUT take us to it.
Mirage has been the bread and butter, especially in this event itself, being one of the main reasons why FUT have been the vultures of this lower bracket.
Yeah, that's why it's so interesting to see it as a third and final map as well, right? Because it has been a really comfortable middle ground for Sangal as well, considering that they've won, what, 5 out of their last 6 Mirages, and the only loss that they had was against the Russian side of 33, but you're looking at wins against Gunfight, Backclick, 1 win, but you hit the nail on the head. FUT, they've been great. 5 in a row, not a single one of those teams actually getting double digits. Batera, Gunfight, Johnny Speeds, and Ents already being crushed by that Mirage.
Getting straight into the action though, an ace site split coming for Sangal. As FUT look to defend it, 2 players strong. This is likely going to be a pop out, see what's up, and vacate the premises for FUT. And we'll probably want to go for a 5-mine retake if it's given the opportunity to do so. Symmetry gets away with a freebie. A bit of a punish back though, Result able to get another one, and the crunch from Sangal is explosive. Back to a 2v2.
That's still tricky. Dan is low on HP, needs to try and close in the distance, try and pick up that fight against Demon. He's able to get that kill. The fuse kit dropped as well. It goes down to a 1v1. Danis, P250, and hand needs the headshot, but Dux is a little bit quicker, and he's going to collect all of the utensils dropped in towards jungle as well. It all starts off with a nice 1v1 for Dux.
I'll tell you what, Ted, we're not slowing things down at all. We're keeping up the pace from the previous maps altogether, getting every round going to that final mark. 1v1 in the end, Jugs to win it out.
Yeah, I feel like if you were to make the calculations, by the way, lovely camera angle in the meantime, but there's probably a good amount of, let's say around 40-50% of the rounds have gone down to the wire, to a clutch, a 2v2, a 1v1, something like that. There's been a lot of them.
Yeah, there hasn't been too much of a difference between these two teams. Coming to this one, though, round number 2 has been a specialty each and every time we've seen a force buy today, and that means Overpass, Ancient, and Mirage follow the same trend.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Force buy coming in, looking like a bit of a default for now. Actually, I was going to say a B split, but the bomb alongside Patsy as well, making its way down under. Still end up being a bit of a B split. Of course, updated nade sounds, so don't get surprised by how weird the smoke, the HEs, the flashes all sound.
Have you noticed a difference in the subtext shooting as well? You know, there have been a few people that have said it's made quite the big deal.
I think it... Look, I didn't have too much time to test it out. I played a little bit of DM. Sure. I think there is a little bit of it, but the players are the people that need to tell us if it's noticeable when they play 10 hours a day, you know?
Absolutely. Because that's when you see the off chances where things don't really go to plan. Wow. And this really, though, falls in place for FUT. Exactly the way they would have liked. Flash out, and Demon seizes a chance to swing from his higher angle to do the damage. If you're Sangal, you're a little bit scared about how this can progress. You still have the bomb clax, but you have no teammates. Headshots do connect, but Krabani closing up the distance from behind in apartments will be the end of you. 2-0 for FUT.
Yeah, this is perfect. By the way, one thing that we haven't touched upon is the fact that there is a little bit of history between the cores of those two lineups, right? As we said, it's been a long time since they've played against each other, right? The last time was on the 7th of May, and that was back when FUT was still Navi Jr. and obviously Sangal was still Astrom, or at least the core of it. That was a game that took place in the Thunderpick World Championship, and that was a 2-0 for Navi Jr. And the only other time this year that they played against each other was actually the ECL Season 49. Navi Jr. again won that game in a 2-1 fashion.
Team stab onto Symmetry.
We don't talk about the stab. Yeah. At least it's against the Pistols.
True. That is very much true. You didn't say that we don't talk about it, but I do want to talk about it. Imagine if a round comes down to, you know, 61 point of damage, you know, that could be.
Imagine Symmetry's down in a 1v1 against the Digo and he just gets body shot.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it could be a difference.
We're going to be a glass half full type of broadcasting duo for this one.
You don't tell me what to do.
I don't...
Oh, don't worry about it. Here we go.
I wasn't ready.
No, you two definitely were not ready for that, but Launex, thankfully, is fully prepared for what Sangal has got in store for them in mid. Yeah, there's not much pressure that you can inflict here on out, Sangal. You're being poked and prodded from multiple directions. You're hoping some shots connect, but FUT aren't making this easy at all. Coordinated with flashes, coordinated with double-sided peaks, so even if you do connect with a headshot, your life will be traded. 3-0 for FUT, and that one was smooth.
Yeah, Mirage is one of the maps on which we should be able to tell the difference between Demon getting to actually be a little bit more involved in the aggressive plays and not, right? We're going to see himself and Krebeni being... Well, not himself and Krebeni, sorry, but himself and Low and X putting a lot of pressure in towards middle. Krebeni obviously in towards that A-bomb side, but he's going to be helping them out as much as he can.
Default play for Sangal yet again, but FUT want to respond quickly. Two players looking to amp up the pressure in mid, but the double flash from Sangal will be enough to scare them off.
Yeah, you put some early pressure on the T's though. Doing a good job to hold on to it, not give the CTs any fights early on their own terms. And we're starting to slowly get into that pretty methodical approach coming out of Sangal. As we pointed out, for a CAS team, they actually played quite a rapid style of Counter-Strike. As long as it's under their conditions. Look at the pushing towards B apps, by the way. Krebeni's slowing things down in towards connector, but Demon's getting a lot of space.
Yeah, and he's on a bit of an off angle. Krebeni will pre-fire that position, though. That is a decent result, decent outcome,
awareness,
especially given that he's down to 3 points of health. It's a bit tough symmetry, though. The timing on this, again, the Demon starts to land for Sangal, but they're just not enough. Flash out, though, and Danis might seize the chance, and you don't expect the second player here, do you? You do, but Demon, quicker to the trigger. And now he's got the players dropping to deal with, and isn't there on time. You've got 3 players available to you, FUT, but 2 only to the defense. You're waiting for Krebeni to move into apartments, but you might not even need him, Patsy. He's under a world of hurt. A hot seat, but flames consuming him from everywhere. At this point, FUT do not allow Sangal to have a say just yet.
Yeah, and this is a team ace coming out of FUT, by the way. This is the best start to a map that we've seen out of them. This is probably the first time we've seen that big of a difference, right? Sangal had a similar lead on the previous map and a 5-2 on the CT side, but it doesn't really feel like FUT intend to slow things down. Demon just wasn't heard. They tried to clear him out, still able to get his 1 kill, and Krebeni already coming in with the backstab. FUT playing some really heads-up aggressive Counter-Strike on that CT side. Down to the pistols again for Sangal. The lack of a bomb plant forcing them to go for a bit of a lighter investment. I wonder how you disturb things if you're Sangal, because it feels like in the middle of the round you're getting picked apart. So probably try and keep things simple with something pacier.
And indeed, it is a change of approach. Rapidly closing up the distance onto the site. Demon using the smoke as cover. But there are some random shots being sprayed that are connecting. Not quite the finishes though, and FUT have regained full control over the site. Not that they've ever lost it. Sure, you switch up positions for clax, but how many do you get away with? As soon as you pull the trigger on one, the rest will be alerted to this angle. 2 picks is all Sangal get on this B quick bop. But it's a 5-0 for FUT, and it's starting to get a bit troubling.
Yeah, it really is. Demon is your B anchor, and he's on 8 and 2. As we pointed out, they've got a really unique way of getting him involved. And this is something that we've noticed, by the way, throughout the last couple of weeks. It becomes a lot more trendy for players to, or for teams to find ways to get their really strong aiming anchors more involved in the CT side play, right? This is something that, let's say, Parivision does with Belchanok on a lot of the maps. Same thing that we're seeing out of FUT and Demon.
Well, you were talking about heads-up plays earlier. Danis, well-positioned to pick up symmetry. I feel like it's the first time we've been seeing Sangal play off of an advantage in this game so far. Demon spots out Danis yet again, knowing he's still stuck around.
First time in a while we've seen them get an opening kill like this and get the opportunity to slow things down. Important to see how they finish it off. This is the best opportunity you've had to win a round. You definitely don't want to throw that opening kill away. Thing is, FUT again seems to have the right read. Demon is just going in towards short. They had 3 players leaning in towards the A-bomb side. Laonex is pushed deep in towards the ramp, ducks in towards Ticket, and Krebeni's ready to pounce. They are ready.
This is risky. A cheap
He's walked
breakaway.
away.
Don't spot him. Gets away with one, and Jug's there as reinforcements. There is some fight back. clax, what a great shot onto Krebeni, crossing out of the connector smoke. And Demon is in trouble, realizes his opponent's nearby. Patsy hears the drop, 25 seconds, and Sangal needs to get a move on. Dennis knows of it, so he's going to try and go and take the fight first. Surely he knows Demon is locked into this angle. He's trying to pre-fight. Smoke phase though, and Jugs gets the jump. It's instantly 13 seconds on the clock, but Bomb needs to get crossed towards Jugs. Is able to double up by the end. FUT unrelentless.
It's all about the reposition. He didn't know. He thought he was steering towards the left-hand side of the jungle. You can't lose around like this. Look at that kill out of Demon as well. It's so clean. The smoke fading away in the most opportune of moments. This is so unfortunate for Sangal. This is definitely one that's going to leave you a little bit frustrated.
Oh, that's definitely a thing, Ted. That is absolutely hurting for Sangal. They got so close. Just wasn't meant to be. But you've got to give kudos to FUT for these mid-round adjustments. Their smart plays to try and get these marginal advantages. It's brilliant to see.
Looking to switch up the pace once again, go for something quicker. Walk through the smoke potential. Lonex needs to be really careful about this.
They know he's here. He's alerted them.
Oh,
it's a bit stressful, isn't it? But all under control. Just a casual walk in the park by the end of things. I don't know why I got so stressed. This was actually pretty clean.
I can't believe they win this round without dropping a single player, by the way. Lonex is able to get a 4-piece out of it. It looked like it could easily go out of control, but now you got to look at the money and actually address this. FUT, not only have they already secured a win in that first half, but they've got money for days. Dex is on 11k, and he's got that bonus 200 as well. He's never going to get reset. He can live through Christmas with that amount of money.
Yeah, imagine the gifts he could get with that. You get an iPhone. You get an iPhone. Modern day opera, dude, I'm telling you.
For whatever reason, the image in my mind is just socks with a smartphone on them.
Sure, yeah, well.
That would be the ultimate bait.
I wouldn't mind opening up my stocking and there being a phone in there.
Yeah, wouldn't mind opening up my stocking and having a Cemetery who's getting an opening kill in there as well. And look at Demon again. He's been so cheeky with those plays against that T side in towards B apartments. Look at him go.
It's Demon walking forwards, but it's Sangal that it feels like are walking up the plank.
They're getting crushed. I mean, he's just gonna get a kill and get out of there. Hello, goodbye, thank you very much.
You know the saying, up the creek, no paddle? Well, Demon went up the creek and he had a bulldozer.
They've just lost the entire map already. I mean, you're looking at it. Try and put yourself in the shoes of the T's, right? You have 3 players on middle. The only thing that you think you might have going for you is clax in towards ladder. Bomb picked up, sure, but you've got no presence in towards B apps, none in towards ramp, palace, and now clax has lost every single one of his teammates. So, yeah, you're in a good position. Doesn't really make that big of a difference, and this could be as clean of a round as it gets. Even if he does get 1 kill, it doesn't really change too much. FUT are dominating.
clax is just... He knows this is a guaranteed kill, so he's hoping for a little bit extra. Krebeni pre-firing. This could easily be just a headshot position. The molly should do it. That's a good right click. Underarm throw. 2 picks. 13 seconds, though. And that's never going to go your way, is it?
Counter-terrorists win.
I guess it's not lonely anymore. That's a positive. Down on the ground, like the rest of his teammates. 8-0, though, Ted. We've had such a close series. We said that Ancient didn't reflect how the game went. 13-6 wasn't the feel, the vibe we got from it, right? So many close endeavors where Sangal remained relevant in the game. But right now, this is just FUT not threatened.
They've got 15 kills. All of them combined. 8 rounds in. Dux has got 8. Demon's got 10. Lonex has 11. Lonex alone has just 4 kills less than the entire team of Sangal, and this is 8 rounds in into an elimination map as well. And that's a quick reminder to everyone at home. The loser of this one is out of the ESL Challenger League Season 50 EU Cup 2. This is a lower bracket matchup. Winner of this one goes through, and that would be the 3rd scalp that FUT take in that lower bracket as well. As we pointed out, this is only the first time that Sangal are actually playing with elimination on the line, and it might be their last as well.
Welcome to the lower bracket, folks. Seems like it's FUT's domain. We're gonna eliminate 3 teams in a row. Johnny Speeds, Ents, Sangal.
All big names as well, right? All difficult games, I guess. I mean, Johnny Speed's probably the only one that you would say FUT are the heavy favorites to win, but both ENCE and Sangal pretty 50-50 matchups.
Well, there's nothing 50-50 about the first 8 rounds of this map. And probably not much in it for this round either. Laonex, easiest shot of his life.
Everything's just plugged. Every single avenue covered. You're just not getting surprised.
Oh, is it?
All right.
Oh
my God.
Is that the quickest caster's curse we've ever seen? Oh, no. Symmetry should be able to get one pick at least from this. Although they know where he is, and there is a deep position taken up from Norway. At least Patsy goes down, so numbers advantage still for the FUT side. Symmetry struggling a little bit. Knows there is pressure. Oh dear. If you're Laonex, gotta be cautious. First pick, spray down, damage onto clax. Demon to make his move. What a round would this be for Sangal to collect? Started only with deagles. But the Kalashnikov does clax the final favor. Goodness me. Sangal, welcome to Mirage.
Yeah, it's all about, I guess, getting the chances that are going to be presented to you. I have no clue how this is the round that they win out of all of them. That was a 3 versus 5 with just the pistols. But hey, you know what? It's all about getting a start. All about getting an opportunity. And I will say, I do apologize officially. That was the ultimate caster curse.
It really was, wasn't it? Oh, dear.
They had only pistols, man. It was
And it was a 5v3. Yeah, it's just how the turntables sometimes, Ted. How the turntables. Krubeni wanting to get a jump in his opponents. Don't let them get too comfortable with winning. Default setup, though, for Sangal so far. And FUT not really willing to give them too much. Jugs with a bit of an exploration play. Pop flashed into ramp. No one around. And it's Danis with first blood.
Yeah, it felt like they wanted to let go of middle, right? That's why you're flashing Jugs in towards the round. But the fact that he doesn't see anyone and there's no pressure on Demon felt like Krubeni just offered himself in towards middle. Hope to catch him in a bit of a timing. So this is another opening kill out of Sangal. Not that it's been enough for either one of those teams to win rounds so far. In the last couple, Symmetry with a bit of a wayward shot. Pressure on him.
Struggling. The past couple of rounds.
Should be dead.
Can he redeem himself? Deep angle for Patsy. The reinforcements arrive, and they definitely are impactful. Yeah, maybe Symmetry doesn't need to shoot his gun. Laonex and Demon are here. Sure. How about that? Symmetry thinking about taking a few steps forward. Spots out a pixel. It's enough to shoot the gun. Goes for the quick scope. But Danis, all by himself with 20 seconds to work with. Isn't much. What a headshot, though, to connect. And if you're able to isolate one more, it could be it. But Symmetry draws out the USP. And that one's a little bit more trustworthy, apparently. 9 on the board. Sangal interrupted before a streak is created.
That's like having a cold bucket of ice and nearly frozen water right on your head, right? You finally get around. You find, and we're not doing the ice bucket challenge, right? It's not for a nice cause right now if you're asking Sango. You just get around. You get a little bit warmer. You're like, well, we've won a 3v5. Some nice shots hit. This is where we get hyped up. And then you go into the next round and Symmetry, who should have been dead to rights, is able to get away with a triple like this. You need more. One round is not going to cut it.
No, for sure. Couple of rounds left in the half. So, 2 opportunities. Sangal close up the distance a little bit. You cannot. Oh, a forward. Another loss. Krubeni, first blood. With Danis's fluke. And there comes a punish. Heavy mid presence for Sangal, though.
Yeah. Look at the boost, though. Oh, all right.
Surprise.
Good shot out of Norway. Not usually known to be an pretty in-game leader, but still able to get away with something. And Laonex, he's absolutely crazy.
And he's out! Patsy can't punish either! How do you even get away with that? Disgusting, Laonex. Clax and Result now left, and they both need to provide a double kill to get things going, but now Clax with plenty.
Look at Zux. Zux is flanking Palace. They can just
around the world.
Zux can just scream, but Laonex won't listen. He just collected a triple kill.
17 and 6, Ed.
Yeah.
How about that?
We can say that one again. We can say it together. It doesn't make it less impressive. Actually emphasizes a lot more on it. LoNX is just having a field day. All of them are having a field day.
Yeah, I can't say the same for Sangal, though. What happened? Overpass seemed like the cleanest map we've seen from Sangal. They looked terrific, completely in line with each other.
Look at the
a lot
faces
of
on the bottom
organized
right.
play.
Look at them.
Smiling at us, as always.
Who is your favorite dispatch character?
My favorite character.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to watch them again. Let's be fair.
All right.
But Hugo is up there for sure.
Okay.
All of them are so funny. I don't know, man. It's hard to choose.
This is probably a basic
Put me on the
answer.
spot.
I do love myself a little bit of stunner action.
Oh, yeah, solid.
And of course, Chad Burchill.
Chad Burchill, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick.
Always a trustworthy one. It's a great series. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go and do that. Yeah.
Oh.
Got a lot of great content coming to you alongside DHL.
Well, Tick Timeout didn't take long to resolve itself. Back into action again. Last round of the half, Sangal putting their hands deep in their pockets for this one. But nothing much has come out of it. Symmetry, give him a chance. But he says no to that. Already out from Tetris, though. Jugs on the receiving end of Clax's drop. Nothing achieved. Molly on Tetris, so denies a deep entry. Patsy, there's a bit of pace in this push now. A couple picks found. 3v3. Kabeni loses his life. It could be over. Demon there to back up the position. Dallas, the only player to find damage this round for Sangal, goes down without a blink of an eye. 11-1 is the score. Be back after the break, folks. Second half, but impending doom for Sangal. We're back, folks. Time to get rolling for the second half, but it might not last long. Only 2 rounds required for FUT to just seal the deal here and continue their grim reaping ways.
Well, that's been a one-sided third map. Quite like the first and the second. You could look at the score and say one team was dominating. The difference is on the first 2 maps we actually had some closer rounds. Here FUT have been, without a doubt, a better team. Looking like they're just 1 pistol round away from eliminating Sangal. And look at how proactive Sangal are trying to be here, but there's no fights being presented.
They've avoided the first 2 shots like the Matrix, but there is a reply back from Sangal. They've been quite diligent, patient, not wanting to overstep. They've got the advantage, can't give it over right now, but they might have just handed over the hurdle. 2v2, Krabeni doing monster work on the pistol. He's unstoppable, and
so
both
low.
Sangal players are just 5 and 17 points of health apiece.
22 HP, you gotta reposition, you gotta look for some type of another advantage, and that's exactly what Patsy's trying to do, going all the way around in towards T-spawn. Thing is, Norway's the one with the kit. If he goes down in towards jungle, this could be an issue.
He turns around, Krabeni, he's got the timing on it. Or does he?
Oh my god.
Patsy.
He was thinking.
You've got to land the headshot, and indeed he does. Jug's all he needs to blow away. And he's already dealt with the first. Norway out, Patsy with 3 to his name. Jugs just needs to make this one a double, and indeed he does. No, never under trouble, never under pressure there. But 12 on the board for FUT means just one thing. Force buy required for Sangal to keep them afloat for, what, how many rounds now, Ted?
Man, those Mirages are wild. 11 in a row they need. Were you trying to test me in maths there?
I mean, it's not particularly
12 minus
equation
1 is
to,
not, yeah.
Yeah, just it wouldn't be too big of a test, would it?
Yeah, I think it's a complicated one. That would be, on a serious note though, that would be absolutely terrifying. Now you're looking at FUT. 13-9 Batera, 13-8 Gun5, 13-9 Johnny Speeds, 36 ends. And now potentially a 13-1 against Sangal. This is turning out to be a phenomenal domination.
There's no beating around the bush here at all. Straight to the point. Norway holds on for a little bit. Double kill collected, but other than that, FUT have got a 2v1 situation. Did Krabeni hit Danis? Danis certainly did.
Hello.
And it's a 1v1. Looks like it's not over just yet, Ted.
Jux has got all the info though, right? And he's not overcomplicating stuff. He knows he's got the timing. Get that bomb planted in towards that A bomb site. It's all about where Danis is coming from. He's repositioned once again. Is he going B?
There's something very free-flowing about Jugs.
Now he knows.
Danis realized it's not a B plant. Popping out of Palace is a bit dangerous.
There's no kit. He can smoke the bomb, but he doesn't have a kit.
Yeah, you're hoping that Jugs jumps the gun here, gets a bit nervous, but that doesn't happen. Instead, 13-1 will be the score. What a turnaround by FUT. By gosh and golly, not what we expected, Ted, moving into this. Not what we expected after the first, after the second. This third map was a big surprise.
Yeah, it's a big hit for the side of Sangal. They're going to be going out of the ESL Challenger League, but what a result that